In this video, we will be looking at the Soham mantra meditation technique. This is also a fantastic meditation technique, particularly for beginners. Like I said, with alternate nostril breathing, it is even Soham mantra technique is very simple and easy to practice. It takes very little effort, which is one of the reasons why it is one of my favorite meditation techniques. It is different, and I would consider it slightly more difficult than alternate nostril breathing, considering the fact that this is slightly more subtle. So, for example, if you're practicing alternate nostril breathing, it would not be that easy to get distracted. But with the Soham mantra meditation technique, it is a lot easier to get distracted because you don't have as many things to focus on. So, like I said in my last video about alternate nostril breathing, you have your hands, you have the alternate nostrils, and um, you have the breath and all those different things to focus on. But here you only have your breath and the mantra, which is the Soham mantra, to focus on. So it is quite easy to get distracted with this one, but I think it is still better than simply practicing breath awareness because that is even more subtle, which means that it is even more difficult than this one. So mantra meditation practices are great. They're quite simple. They're quite straightforward. So what you basically do with them is you associate a mantra with your breath. So you simultaneously focus on two things: your mantra and your breath. So something you can simply do is maybe chant Om. So on each inhale you can chant Om. On the exhale you can chant Om again. So sometimes you can do Om peace, which is Om Shanti, Om Peace, whatever works for you. So inhale and chant Om, exhale and chant Peace or Shanti. That can be something else. Om Namah Shivaya. You can chant Ram or any other mantra based on the deities that you like or have an affinity to it. So those are different mantra meditation techniques. Soham in particular is quite a common one. It is a pretty common yogic meditation technique. It is quite useful, and to be honest, it can take one quite far. Even such a simple and basic meditation technique like this can actually take you far towards samadhi and higher states of consciousness like that, if practiced correctly and if practiced well. So that is something that is quite interesting about the Soham technique because it can definitely lead towards higher realizations. So, what does the mantra mean? So, Soham means I am that. So, that being pure consciousness, Brahma, Atma, whatever you want to call it, the supreme reality, the wholeness of life. So, with each breath that you take with the Soham mantra, you are affirming the truth of your identity with the universal consciousness. So, instead of when when we spend our entire days identifying with our bodies, our minds, our little self, when you meditate and practice Soham, you learn to identify with your higher consciousness, which is actually your true self, which is not really your higher consciousness as such. Um, it is the real you, and you are that all the time. It's just that you don't realize it, which is why we need to do practices such as these in order to make sure that we are realizing that. So with Soham, you learn to affirm that, you learn to focus on your breath, you learn to focus on the mantra. So as you focus on one thought with complete attention and focus, all other distracting thoughts fall away, and you learn to abide as the witnessing presence. So the goal of the Soham mantra technique to dissociate from everything is to dissociate from your mind everything that you think you are and exist in pure consciousness, which is why I said that Soham mantra can also lead to samadhi, it can also lead to pure conscious states, and that is why I think it is quite powerful and it can take one quite far. But it will take time. If you're a beginner, then you probably don't have to worry about these things because these are slightly advanced, and they will take time. As a beginner, you can just simply learn to practice this technique well with complete focus, with complete attention, and then you can contemplate these things later on. But for now, for someone who is just looking to start practicing this every day, um, I will be giving a short tutorial as to how to do it, and I will be practicing it for a few minutes. So you can watch me do it or follow along with me. Along with that, I'll also be sharing some tips, some useful insights or guidances. One such is to focus here at the point between the eyebrows. That is very useful. So you can raise your eyes slightly up and imagine that you're focusing here at the point between the eyebrows. That will definitely help you focus better and concentrate better. It will also develop the frontal regions of your brain. So do that. Um, and as you breathe, try not to control your breath. Remember, the goal is to abide as the witnessing presence within yourself, the one that watches the mind, watches the thoughts, watches the body. So the if you're trying to control your breath, then you are not really abiding as the witness or the seer. You are still trying to do something instead of just trying to be, instead of just trying to exist as pure consciousness, which is why it is important for you to not try to control your breath, and instead it is important to simply focus on watching the breath. So don't control the breath. Maybe your inhales are very short, maybe your inhales are very long. Depending on the duration of your inhales and exhales, you adjust the mantra accordingly. So, for example, if I'm taking a long, deep inhale like this, then I will chant so for the same duration. In my mind, I will chant so for the same duration, like so. And same with the exhale, hum. And if I had a short inhale, something like that, then it's just be so, hum, so, hum. And this happens in your mind. You don't chant out loud. So, like I said, in your mind, you chant so on each inhale and hum on each exhale. At the same time, if the breath stops or slows down, then it is important to focus on that as well. And to be honest, that is where the magic really happens. Don't force yourself to hold your breath. Don't try to extend the gap between inhales and exhales on purpose. If it happens naturally, just let it occur naturally. And in those silence when nothing is going on, then just try to be as present as you can be. So as you are inhaling and exhaling, focusing on the breath, practice the mantra, practice with full attention. And when there is no inhale or exhale, when your body is simply resting between two breaths, then simply focus on existing as the seer, as that, as that pure consciousness, which what we were affirming with Soham, I am that. I am that pure consciousness that exists apart from this body, apart from this mind, and so on. So, yeah, I think those are the main points that I would consider to be useful. So, we'll begin practicing it. Maybe we can practice it for 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Let's see. So, sit up straight and comfortably. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and relax. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Raise your eyes slightly up so you can focus on the point between the eyebrows. Use this point as an anchor for your consciousness. Use this point to focus your awareness. And now start practicing the Soham mantra meditation technique with the breath. At each inhale, mentally chant the mantra So. On each exhale, mentally chant the mantra hum. So hum. If you get distracted, then simply bring your awareness back to the breath and back to the mantra. Every time you bring your focus back to the breath and to the practice, your ability to focus and concentrate improves. Do not control your inhales or exhale. Simply let your body do what it needs to do. Your goal is to abide as the witnessing presence. Watch the breaths rise and fall. Focus not only on the breaths and on the mantra, but also between the breaths. Focus on the silence within and between the breaths. Try to be as present as you can be. Try to abide as the seer, watching the breaths move in and out of your body. Now drop the mantra and simply focus on the breath. Focus on any sense of peace and tranquility that may have been generated from your practice. It is always useful to sit in the silence after practicing a meditation technique for a few minutes. This is where you actually get to enjoy the fruits of your meditation practice. Once again, abiding as the seer, abiding as the witness. Take a deep breath in, exhale and relax. Take another deep breath in, exhale and relax. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and be well. Try to carry this sense of tranquility that you feel within yourself with you throughout the rest of your day, throughout the rest of your week. And I hope you have a good day ahead. Goodbye. Take care.